All right, so you make your way over towards Effid's abode?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all follow Ashton outside of the cookhouse, and climbing up about 3 tiers of the near opposite end of this, darkly lit chamber, you see this mess of rope and net that almost resembles a hanging nest, like an upside down hanging nest, within this kind of partially collapsed cavern that goes back about 20 or so feet. But the mouth of it and the roof of it is just this mess of heavily nailed in hanging pieces of frayed and rotted rope with exterior nets that have kind of partially been broken apart in places or have holes in them that have just been layered over and affixed, where it creates this weirdly almost organic looking interior from a distance, but you get up close and it just looks like a bunch of scavenged shit that's been nailed and pushed to the walls to create this almost nightmare jungle gym aesthetic to it. You know this to be Effid's place.
Effid!
What?
You awake? You there?
There's a brief pause, and you start seeing from the dark interior of the chamber, there's like one little glowing light in the far end that begins to kind of shake, and then begin to approach in this swinging pattern towards you.
Oh my god, he's an anglerfish.
And you begin to see, climbing upside down across the ceiling, a male Aesfura, older in his years, with a deep brown feather pattern that drifts into kind of a fading grayish yellow tint at the tips. You see the wings that come off of his arms. It looks like the feathers aren't coming out properly, and the arms are jointed strangely. But he pulls himself out from underneath and kind of dangling upside down, looking at all of you, these bright yellow eyes kind of peering from the shadowed expanse. And you see the beak, dark, almost black at the tip, kind of open up a bit with this inhale before it goes, "Hello. Did you call for me, Ashton?"
Yes, I had a couple questions if you've got a second. I'm working on some stuff to make some money.
Very busy today, but I'll make it work for you.
All right.
Kind of scatters a bit close, and now is climbing down one side, and you can see it looks like their arms were broken at one point in the past and didn't quite heal correctly, but it doesn't slow them down, and they move across this space with a speed and a grace that is impressive. And they just kind of extend themselves out, and the neck turns, and you can see them kind of, as they're still kind of staying focused towards Ashton, is very much curious and looking over each of you.
I'm sure Milo mentioned that I'm running with a new crew to try and pay the bills.
I've heard a thing or two, and I've seen you come through.
Couple things we're trying to track. Do you know where some brimstone might have gone in this city? We're trying to track a little bit of that around.
Plenty of it comes in and out, but it's all attached to ships.
This would be in the nude, so to speak.
Can't say I have.
No.
It's dangerous to move.
Yeah.
Why do you ask, cracked one?
We had to deal with somebody who was moving some around. It's been a weird week, I'm sure you heard about the fucking murderous table carpet shit that went down, and and then had to deal with this guy who was moving that shit around. We're also trying to find the anger from back in the day. And with all of this going the fuck on, one of these shows up in my room. I don't suppose you saw who dropped this off.
I did see a courier come through. Wasn't dressed like the rest of us. Looked like they were for money.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Who's it from, if I can ask?
That costs more than you have.
Well, you've asked a lot of questions, and they cost more than you have, so good day. And begins to clamber back into the cave, but the head that continues to watch all of you in turn. Kind of stops. Why?
You remind me so much of a friend of mine, Dr. Nesbit.
Who's this Nesbit?
It's a friend of mine. Oh,
Oh, shit.
oh, but we have to go.
Yep.
Oh, hello,
Dr.
I'm
Ned.
Fern.
Hello, Fern. I'm Effid the Fallen.
Don't let the name fool you. It'll fuck you up. It's a whole thing. I think he wants to know who this doctor is, if you feel like sharing.
Oh, it's not a real doctor. It's just, a bird that's a friend of mine, and I named him Dr. Nesbit.
Right. Good day, Ashton.
I'll just throw a little bag of 50 gold.
With immediate speed, like catches it. Kind of shakes it and just listens, not even like breaking eye contact from you, just kind of. You're very kind, Ashton.
Well, I'd like to keep on your good side.
You're doing well. Be yourself, you know. Proud of you. Tucks it into like this little side satchel pouch that's kind of affixed around one of the shoulders.
Did you know anything about where the anger is?
Worked for the twins. Before everything else turned to shit. And then begins to climb back into the shadows.
What you get is what you get.
What is that?